Good evening, afternoon, depending on how you get today. So, as you guys can see, we are at one of these Bible places, ekmarsh.com. This is for the Septuagint, but this is actually scripturally, it's pretty much the same, and it's the same chapter and verse it would be in the King James Version Bible. We're coming with a basic original, real quick, a stance from what it is that I want to talk about. Uh, of course, we're going to talk about white heaven. That goes without saying. But uh, one moment, I want to give credence to not just the genetic background of a person who's messed up, right? But just how they operate and what it is that they are. And let's go ahead and hit it off real quick. We're at Psalms chapter 58, and we're just going to read all 1 through 10. But when we get to the part that I want to speak on, then we're going to hit up there. If ye do indeed speak righteousness, then do ye judge rightly, ye sons of men? For ye work iniquities in your hearts, in the earth. Your hands plot unrighteousness. Sinners have gone astray from the womb. They go astray from the belly. They speak lies. Their venom is like that of a serpent, as that of a deaf asp, and that stops her ears, which will not hear the voice of charmers, nor heed the charm prepared skillfully by the wise. God has crushed their teeth in their mouth. God has broken the cheek tooth of the lions. They shall utterly pass away like water running through. He shall bend his bow till they shall fail. They shall be destroyed as melted wax. The fire has fallen, and they have not seen the sun. Before your thorns fill the white thorn, he shall swallow you up as living, as in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance of the ungodly. He shall wash his hands in the blood of the sinner. And the man shall say, verily, then there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, there is a God that judges them in the earth. And we're going to leave off right there for a moment. And I'm going to hit it up. And I'm just going to say this right here is that in order for people to understand what it is that the wicked are, what they do, how they operate, one must understand that from the time that they are conceived, or at least when they escape the womb, they are already evil. They have no intent on being a good person. So sometimes the evil have a really good cloaking device, very intelligent way of hiding what they do. But rest assured, if a person does something that is normally considered evil, then they are most indefinitely, more than, in questions, without a doubt, an evil person. And this just makes it all that what it is. A person who is wicked, that makes it easy for the, I won't even say the evil person. I'll just say that it's something that's easy to allow. See, it's like evil people, they operate differently because when they're hiding these things from you, you see, they have to do so many acts that are seen as good, seen as fair and just to the brethren. But with that said, many people do not understand Just like right now, somebody going all in the back. I don't know what guy's problem is, but he's having a long day. But anyway, I'm not gonna call this guy wicked. But all that stuff that he's doing right now, he's been like that since the day he was born. He was going to be like that. You won't change somebody from being wicked. They're going to be evil. It's a fact. I promise you. I promise you. If you can get a person who is evil indefinitely to change their ways, then you have overcome what it is that they were dealing with in the first place. The the idea that they were ever good is preposterous. I'm gonna pull up a picture of a man that was wicked from the womb. Give me one moment. And some people may feel some type of way about this. Uh, please don't. One moment. And, and, here. We're going to blow that up just a wee bit. So you're seeing this ugly critter here, this thing, this guy. He was wicked and evil from the day he was conceived. His children are wicked and evil. Everything he did was wicked and evil. Wicked from the womb. There's no need for me to celebrate the fact that he passed, because one day I will pass. I will die. So there was no need to celebrate something that is going to happen to all. This is a natural happening, but we should feel better knowing that there was one less wicked person in the world who can hide their hand while they do evil to others. See, this is what it's about, people. See, in their heaven, you see, they have the ability to change the narrative at a whim. If they choose that you are the victimizer and not the victimized, then you shall be held accountable to the degree and standard that they have set and appointed for the victimizer. Be it as it may, we have to understand that their mindset is not of a person who was healthy ever. They have missing proteins, missing lipids off of major areas of function on their brain that would normally give them the ability and the ideas that I wouldn't say normal people have, but healthy people have. You see, because normal in this country is wicked. We're trying to get ourselves to be as far from that as possible, to tame ourselves the best we can, to show ourselves that we have discipline, that we may seek to appease the Most High. And these things, these evil things, I'm going to leave his face up here for a little while just so that way it stings. And it really, this is what it looks like, wicked from the womb, an evil individual. He hung his hat on the fact that he outlived all those people that he had forced to death. And now he joins them. It is simply amazing that the wicked do not understand this concept, that they shall join those that they have forcibly put there for no good reason. They shall join the dead, the ranks of their fathers. But because they have no cognition, the inability to see anything, they are doomed, and they doom others. Once again, if you are a person who is estranged from the very offset of what it is that you were supposed to do, then how can you ever know what it is that you were supposed to do? The entire idea is diametrically opposed to itself, and it makes no sense. It's a sickening thought to even believe that a person would think that a man like this is worth their homage, prayers, or any sort of sympathy. The evil that he conducted at a time where in which he, much like the man before him, had his life threatened. And these are things that you learn as you read into it. But he, like his predecessor, had his life threatened, and just like any guy who is living by self-preservation and not by the actual credo of what he says he stands for, he chose self-preservation. Real heroes get killed. The wicked live to tell about it. That is how this society, white heaven, has ran itself for many years. And it doesn't mind, as one of the people who I sometimes feel they have a spare chromosome. Um, this individual does say one thing though that is true about the situation that we are in, you know, be it as it may. And with individuals like this, is that they have only ever furthered the suffering of 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 black peoples, uh, sought to denigrate black men and to put themselves up and above. They have never ever done anything for the black woman but make her a bedstop, and their children props, playthings, and their victims. White heaven has been most definitely spawned and in the weirdest ways, I guess you could say formulated by that who are wicked and were wicked and still very much alive today from the wombs of their mothers, who bore them, reared them to be as it is, as they were, as all they have ever known. For a leopard to change its spots would be more than amazing, because then that would mean that the leopard then must not actually, indeed, not have to chase down other animals and eat them. The idea is to say that the leopard could change its nature, and it cannot. Right. Tigers don't just get rid of the stripes. You know, it just doesn't happen like that. That's not the way it's manifested to be. And I'm only going to give this ugly bastard a little bit more time, but I just really needed it to sink in. And I'm going to put a piece of suffering in people's mind that he was a part of. That, I mean, I want y'all to understand, during the apex of what is known as the crack epidemic, a lot of people want to say it was in, like, 83, 84. No. The apex, because now we're talking about violence being involved. The late 80s, early 90s. This man's presidency, people. This man's presidency. Him, this dude, he is the reason why so many black people got killed, murdered, and there was no accountability. There's been no accountability. There never will be until there is judgment because of their rules. And they made themselves rich off of it. I mean, they filthy, disgusting rich. I could talk about this other guy, Clinton dude, but he's not gone yet. So we're not going to talk about those who aren't expired yet, who have been wicked from the womb, because it would be almost unfitting. See, that man deserved it to be spoken on and to be given the face of who is wicked from the womb. So that way we understand what it is that I'm talking about. When I say white heaven, I mean white heaven. I don't live in the fantasy world of what I think could be or what I think will be. I live in the world of right now. They are disgusting and nasty creatures. And they have infected the minds of people who look like you, who already, in their own rights, were wrong and not proper. And these are the types of things that we have to be ready for. See, because those who are actually like this, you know, they speak lies, they're murderers. These are the people who the Most High said can't rest until they have done something wrong. These are them. And the explanation is that they were always like this. They come from bad seed. But if you notice who their parents were, right, father or mother, you can be like, yeah, they don't come from good stuff. They come from bad stuff. Every once in a while, you'll get some people who get recessive genetics in a bloodline of people who are what you would deem not very good people. And this is the soft person in their family. Those kinds of people back in the day, they would kill just so that way they weren't in their family, just so that way that piece could not be in their family and pass itself down continuously. This is how the wicked have operated for a long time. You see, one of the most evil things that ever took place in the entire scripture against the Hebrew people, and people talk about when they were made to be captives of other nations, but I'd like to speak to when they were just the children of Israel. And I don't know what this guy was going through. Not so very smart Israelite after they had just fought a great battle and won. And they had all been told, do not take of the idols of the people. Now, I've stressed before that this man may have just been holding out the goods, but more so than that, he did that which was wrong. And what a thief does, he tried to hold on to something so that way when they eventually got somewhere, he had something of value, of worth. Even more wicked, he got it so that way he could praise it himself. You see, this is why those narratives are so important. And what happened was that the Israelite people, before they were Israelite, the children of Israel, they suffered a great loss. And Joshua, he was greatly distressed because he's like, it's over. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. And he's praying, looking crazy. And this angel walks up with a sword out. And he's pretty much like, why are you on your face? Get up. Joshua's like, are you for or against us? And he's like, don't worry about all that. Take off those dirty shoes on your feet. You're on hollow ground right now. Now let's talk. But in this situation, he had to tell him, like, look, man, the people are profaning the Most High. He delivered you, brought you out of this land that was treating you guys wrong. And now you have people amongst you who would rather profane his holy name by keeping with them and in their possession idols of your enemies. How wicked is that? How evil is that? Now, this man is stoned with stones. He and his family, they're all killed. And and it's sad, when you think about like that whole concept of like, having to kill somebody because they didn't listen to you. But what else do you do? And once they've done this, they continue to march down on their enemies, and quite ferociously at that. But in this moment, in this instance, I can honestly say this was probably at that time because there was no Moses anymore. So they didn't know what to do. And this is it. And this is when they're first starting to learn little things like that. because you have to remember, we have to go back to Moses before, when he was still alive, and the uh, the Egyptian boy who the writers were kind enough to call a stranger, but his mother's half Egyptian and his father's Egyptian. He's Egyptian, dog. What else is there? But because it's written in the terms of an Israelite book, they didn't want to give the idea that the Israelites were commingling with the Egyptians as soon as they had left Egypt. But that's very much what had happened. See, so you have people who don't even understand these concepts, that there are evil people with us who've been with us this entire time, and they're wicked from the womb off tops. Some of them, straight up, no saving them. If there's no saving of some of your people, then surely that has to account for some of them too. There's no way that it doesn't. So once again, we're at a standstill, this juncture, if you will, where people have to see that genetically they are predisposed to being like this. And if I wanted to compare this to homosexuality, I could say, I guess they are born like that. In a real vicious way. I could really contend that they're born like that. I could contend that everybody who's a killer, a vicious killer, is born like that. And I could just fall in that scripture. If they're a piece of shit, excuse my language, and that would be the way it went. Do I believe that's how it's supposed to go? No. But that would be an explanation. And it would be more scientific than what the scientists have said. Because I haven't twisted any type of thing. I've just said, look, they're wicked. And they've been like this since they were like that out of the womb. So they've never been right. There's nothing good about them at all. Right. See, that's a whole other concept that people would have to begin to acknowledge before they accepted it. And this is why it's so important to speak on why they're wicked out of the womb, from the belly. Who else is a story that I can think of a piece of garbage? You look through my pictures of people, all these pictures that I have, and we're gonna land base somebody. It's just unfortunate. Oh, here we go. Lovely. Wickedness right here. I tell you. One moment. So we see this picture. We make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay, so look. It says right here. Oh, it was gonna blow it up the proper way. Thomas Edison's light bulb was too hot and had a very short lifespan. Therefore, wasn't efficient enough to be placed in homes and businesses. It was the brighter, more efficient, longer lasting light bulb invented by Louis Lattimore that was set up in homes, business, and cities around the world. Edison, Lattimore. Therefore, it was actually a black man that took the world out of darkness. Your perception of reality is a white deception. They distort history, facts, and narratives to falsely exalt themselves. Wake up. And this is obviously, so I didn't go to this place yet, this little black people matrix thing, but I've looked into the situation. And obviously, we've all known this, but I just wanted you guys to think about this. How wicked this man, Thomas Edison, would have to be to know that he could have easily allowed for the black man to have garnered the proper amount of acknowledgement, if not credit, acknowledgement for what he had done. So that way people didn't believe that a man who people proudly claimed that they came out of caves and worshiped piles of garbage and wood, that they somehow gave to the world light when they can barely give to themselves food to eat and outsource all their food to other countries. Please. However, the wickedness that these people practice on a large scale level is so unbelievable that it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. If I made just a video of all the Pinterest pictures that Andre sent me, and I'm thinking about doing that. It's just, it'd be a lot of work. It'd be a lot of work. But he sent me so much stuff over, over this last year and a half, from Pinterest that would, I mean, a lot of it would freaking blow your minds because it's not just Black inventors or just Black history. These are just events that people will try to downplay and try to downsize, and make it seem as if it's not that important, but it is. It's important that Black people understand who they are to other people. It's important that you see who the people are who are holding you down and oppress you. Okay? It's important that you understand that you're in their heaven. This is where they reign supreme. No person is ever going to be able to say that they don't reign supreme here. But their false sense of dominance every day is broken to pieces by whom they allow to be entertained by, and whom they allow themselves to be entertained by, excuse me. And by that medium, you have people who don't realize that their favorite thing to watch are men that they know are physically more dominant than them, do things that they can't do. And a lot of them, by the lot, don't look anything like them. In fact, they look very much different. So they don't think that they're superior than you. They don't think that they're better than you. Hell, they even try to have babies with your people so that way they can hope to garner some of those genetics that they see are favorable from you and to their bloodline and to their pool of peoples, and then hope to wash it out. This is how they think. However, because the prognosis isn't that you're in white heaven for some people, the prognosis is that we're just in the land of our captivity. This is their heaven. Okay? This is the best it's ever going to be for them. The Messiah wouldn't have said, "Woe to them that are rich, for they have received their consolation here on earth," if they have their heaven. All of them have got their heaven. White heaven, Chinese heaven, whatever all the little countries, there's a little spot there where it's like heaven on earth for them. And it's beautiful for a patch of people. All white people don't have it good, but there's enough of them that have it good where they're like, fuck that. We'd rather die before we gave up the reins. And we most definitely would rather die before we let you Black people leave here on your own free will. Wicked, evil, and disgusting. And you know what the wicked do? They devise wicked devices. But listen though, they've been wicked from the womb. So they've devised these devices since day one. So off the rip, they came here with an evil plan. Are you hearing me? Every evil, wicked thing that they've ever done, they wanted to do that from the gate. All these evil ass people that you've ever seen, That's why the Most High said that the imagination of man, right on, is intently bent on evil, acknowledging that just a man's imagination is intent on evil. And this is far before any of these things were ever written. Okay, this is just me saying it so that way I can put it out there, so that way you understand that I'm gonna tie it together for you. But they are wicked from the womb. We're not talking about their imagination. No, we're talking about who they are. And they're estranged from the womb. They're they're alienated from the womb. They're different. That's something that people have a hard time recognizing. They say, oh, they'll grow out of it. No, they're evil, dog. They're fucking evil. They're never going to change. They've been a wicked piece of garbage since day one, since RIP. Nothing you say is going to make them a better person, ever. I'll put top, middle, bottom dollar on it. And when people can come to this conclusion that the folks that they contend that if we can just come at it from this angle, at this height, with this trajectory, with this much pressure, this much depth and volume, and all these other things, that maybe they'll change their mind and 0.00000001 degree another direction. Are you serious? They've shown you what they're about. They tell you all the time what they're about. Where were the white people saying that make America great again is the most racist thing that you could ever say? Where? Where's the group of them still saying it now? Where are those hucksters at? Where are those chuckleheads at? They don't exist. Want to know why they don't exist? Because these people have nothing good planned for you. Nothing. If they wanted to speak on the travesties of forget the 90s, let's dial it back a little while. Let's dial it back to the 50s and 60s. Let's dial it back to the 40s, if you will, and the 30s and the 20s. Do you know how many people were lynched in this country after the Jim Crow? And innumerable. I don't give a fuck what they say the number is. It's innumerable. We'll never know, people. You know how many black people they fed to the hogs, to the dogs, to the gators? Huh? These people are wicked from the womb. They're evil. Fret for them not. Feel bad for them not. Pity them not. Shake your head. Bat your brow. But feel nothing. And move on. Because they deserve everything that they get. They put out all this energy, all this negative energy, as if it is supposed to be accepted and not given any form of reciprocity. What? What? For every action, there is a what, people? Equal and opposite reaction. And the worst thing that could happen is probably what's what? Right, going to happen and take place. You always expect that. So that way, everything from that moment on down is good. You expect it. You don't want that, but I expect something to go wrong. Because I am around wicked people who thrive in creating situations where they can play victim or they can play hero. You know how many black men and black women have been hospitalized, killed, brutalized? I met a 90-year-old woman, Miss Edna, when I was at a court this last week. Very sweet older lady too, very sweet. And you know what she said to me? She said, yeah, I didn't want to move out of my home. So what these police done is, these sheriffs, they come and 4 of them come and snatch me out my house all rough like, and I have bruises and scrapes all over me. And I'm just sitting there thinking in my head, like, and I could look at her, and for her age, she looked very healthy. So it's like I'm just thinking in my mind, like, if this had been a 90-year-old woman, and she's 91 now, but so she was 90 when it happened. Had this been a 90-year-old woman who was in poor condition, right? And this is a black woman, so this is why they feel so gully to holler off like that, right? But while I was there with her, like I had this weird, like I won't let anything happen, like like a real sense of like I'll protect her right now. You know what I'm saying? And I remember her just asking me where to go to file certain paperwork, and she asked me what I thought about it, and about what she should do. She already had a plan of action, so there was no getting her to deviate from what she'd already planned to do, but her plan of action, I just added to it. I said, well, if you're not going to change what if you have the mind to not change it, then you should add this to it and do this. And Miss Edna, we talked maybe for about an hour, you know, and then she went her way after I made sure that she didn't need any further assistance. And then I went mine. And I've always loved the elderly people, really soft heart, for the elderly. Not all elderly, but those that are kind and kindred in their spirit, and you can tell have been humbled by life. They may not have always been humble like that, but they have become humble. You know, Nothing is more unsightly and unbecoming than an elderly person who is I won't say rude, but they're very unchoicely with their words. However, I was just glad to have spoken to the lady and to have been able to give her a voice of calm reasoning. Because once again, in this land, some people just tell you, "Oh, sue them, get that money, go after the bag," but they've never been in a situation. They really don't know. You understand? They have aunties and uncles that are best case scenario professional lawyers who have sued people for other people, right? And got paid like that. Worst case scenario, they have family members, aunties, uncles, maybe even mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, right? Cousins and all that stuff who are con men and con women who who either have moved to a state that allows for frivolous lawsuits to take place, or they already lived in one, or they understand the rules of lawsuits based on state per state. So when they go one place to do business, they'll look for something to pop off so that way they can be like, I'm about to sue somebody. They're looking for it to happen. You see, wickedness, wicked. That is wickedness. The first, the suing somebody for somebody else, depending on the circumstance, could be, I mean, I'm not going to say borderline righteous. I guess you could just say righteous. I don't want anybody to feel shorted by the antics of what I'm saying, but I have to really stress that how righteous is anything, you know. Hello, everybody, brothers, sisters. I'm just getting it in. I'm just not getting back to the page. Andre, so I'm just gonna call you Ben. And what up, old cat, Sister Tammy? I'm breaking this for a second. Say what up to everybody. How was everybody's day today? Hope everybody had if not a enjoyable and pleasant day. I hope everybody had a day that was worthy of looking forward to tomorrow. With that said, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. The wicked, the evil, the downright, down low, good for nothings, who would sue a person for anything frivolous. Con men who look for things to do to people. See, they craftily steal the money, so they don't feel like a thief like the other people. They don't feel like like a all out pistol toting, gun toting, what's the word I'm looking for? Brazen mugger, thief, you know, scourge of society. However, they're worse than them because these are the people who call old people and get old people to give them their social securities numbers and then steal their life savings. And then these old people go to the grave with saddened hearts. Now, some of them, I don't know what they've done in their life for this to happen to them. So I don't always initially feel bad for these people. You see, I just feel bad for the fact that it's an elderly person and now they have no time to come back from it. But if this be judgment from the Most High, then my hands are not tied. My hands are to the side, and I feel nothing. I feel neither good nor bad. But the wicked, when they leave the earth, I have to point it out that they have left and whom they are. And it was just awkward that the president passed away, the timing that he passed, ex-president, whatever. And you guys see how they treat him like the king. Me and Andre were talking about this earlier. They're treating him like like he was like the king. Because when Reagan passed, I don't remember it being this big of a deal. But this is for some odd reason, this is a huge deal. But they're wicked and they don't want to be forgotten. They don't want the world to forget them because they know the first thing people are going to do is forget about them. There's people right now in Iraq and Afghanistan who are celebrating, who are drinking and toasting and feasting to these types of things. They're happy that these people are gone. I'm not saying that we should be happy, but we should feel better that once again there is one less piece of opposition in the way of us getting out of here. Their children have already squandered their head start, and many of them are opioid addicts, incapable of going long periods of time without narcotics that make it as if their back feels as if it's going to fall apart for some odd reason. They feel sick, they say. So I guess what I'm really getting at is that, I guess what I'm really saying is that we're just dealing with a people who don't understand who they are yet, as I said in the last video. But they are wicked from the womb, but that they don't see it yet. Until they get that there is nothing in it for them, no thing at all. They have no skin in the game. Right. So everything they're doing is purely destructive. That's the only way it can be seen and deciphered. They've placed themselves up on this pedestal. And little by little, one of them, named Donald Trump, aka D. Treasy, might do us the honors of unfolding everything right in front of our eyes. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but this could it could very well be. I, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in this next year? I can't wait to do my weekly updates next year. That's going to be fun. But we'll see if I get to do all 52 of them. We'll see if these guys are right about something about 1619. We'll see. Or if the white man is just pushing the needle. We'll see. Everything is going to come out these next couple years because they can't keep holding it together with you can't keep a dam from bursting with super glue and dirt. It's not going to happen. No matter how good you do it. And the comforts that some of us have grown accustomed to and used to are getting ready to taper off and change. Everything's going to change. Not for the worst at first. Once again, the idea for something to fail and fall when people don't see it coming is that everything was going okay, everything was going all right. So it shouldn't be impossible to still make dividend or to pay rent or to pay bills, but the atmosphere is going to change for everyone, for sure. And that is going to give to us what we've never had before. You know, we've never had the ability to just speak and say what it is that needs to be said. Things people think that by using the platform that these people have provided is the best way to do it when it is not. But all of it is going to change where it's just a matter of time. I don't know how else to put it, but you can only watch evil enact itself for so long until eventually someone says, enough. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. This shall be no more. Not in this manner. And because of this, because that is how it's going to be, that's going to be the blessing, my friends. See, people are terrified. They're scared. I don't blame them. They don't know what it is that they're going to have to do to be alive. They think that it's just going to carry on the way that it's been carrying on. If I told you right now that the violence is going to have an increase next year of some 30%, 40%, would you believe me? And I could tell you how right now. See, the trade war hasn't done the damage that it's going to do just yet. The start of next year, by March, when you hear the gripes and moans of other people spread about in this country, if it's not affecting you, that means that those sectors of business aren't what make the economy that you live around thrive. But if you hear them belly aching, or people who just recently had work no longer have work, you know what happened. It's obvious what happened. It's simple what happened. See, I think the problem sometimes is that we look at a person like Donald Trump, or we look at someone like the Queen, or the proxy dummies that they put into place, people like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right? But what we're not looking at is these are just the same kind of people who have been evil and wicked their whole lives. Did it say wicked was ugly from the womb? Fat or skinny or tall, or did it give wicked a description? No, it just says it's alienated, so it's different, it's estranged. And that is an indicator of what to look for. See, excuse me, in this nation, wicked is normal. So it's hard to spot wicked in a nation where you're dealing and contending with a lot of people who either are all out wicked or they dabble in wickedness. It makes it much more difficult to see who the wicked are and to say, you, sir, you, lady, you surely are a wicked person. But what we have to realize and understand is that the indicator that they are estranged, that they are set aside, we have to look at them as a person who is someone that would normally, in any other time, other than the time that we live now, be seen as a person who was a wrongdoer. It's just that easy. I'm not trying to oversimplify it. But if what you practice every day would have been seen as something that people saw or thought or believed was evil, like, for example, the fact that people drive cars, play video games, use phones, any of that stuff, it's all witchcraft, all sorcery. The same wicked people who use it today to drop bombs on folks, right? Using the same pretty much GPS technology on the phone to guide the bombs in, just a little more complicated. These are the same people who would have killed you just a couple hundred years ago for using the same very technology, though they come from people who practice witchcraft. See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about, that this is why it's deep, okay? This is why it's bigger than Demetrius Antoine Jones will ever be, bigger than any chat room could ever get, because people have to see that we're looking at characters who would have otherwise been disposable, highly disposable in this society and other societies. But because wickedness has become the order of the day, we are now living in a time that allows for individuals and groups, cliques, crews, whatever alike, that would normally have been extinguished, to put it lightly, to now live on, procreate, and create more wicked people. And because you have these small pockets of righteous people who temper the wickedness with their righteousness, the wicked are sometimes, what's the word I'm looking for? Compressed, right? And they're contained. There we go. And when they're contained properly, people don't always see that there is a high concentration of evil and wickedness that has permeated the land. You have to understand that for a long time, it was normal and regular for people to kill. It's regular for people to kill people now. It was way more way more regular for people to kill people 100 years ago. It was far more regular. All the belly aching that people do about people getting killed now, it didn't exist like that 100 years ago. Did people still get sad? Sure, but it was way different. It was way different. When's the last time one of y'all here heard about somebody getting killed over a shot of liquor, a shot of whiskey? It still happens, I'm sure, but 100 years ago, far more frequent than it is now. So you have to understand the evolution of these characters that you're looking at. I've done already a recording on the children garden. I can't even talk about it because it's too filthy. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. I think this Wicked from the Womb production was a really good jump off to go in there. So when I come back to White Heaven, I'm slowly gonna get to another label that actually has White Heaven in it, you know, or another one of their heaven type things, you know. But I veer away from all that just because I understand the danger of these people trying to shut down the channel that I've had for forever, and it took forever to get it nowhere, you know. And not that I would be worried about it having to be reestablished from nothing to something again, but it would be much easier to just keep it where it's at. It would be much easier to just leave it right exactly where I have it. And excuse me, my alarm went off. But I just don't see the practicality of that type of mentality. sometimes I think that because we don't have what we would normally have as a people, we're not equipped to battle this type of wickedness. What up, JP Hope? What up, bruh? You know, and because we don't have what we would normally have, for example, most people are not armed. Like, you would be surprised how many people actually are not armed. They say most households in America have guns, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I think a lot of households do, but I think there's a lot of households that don't have a firearm. And I think a lot of those people who don't have guns, you would be surprised. You'd be surprised how many black people actually don't own a gun or are scared to own a gun. They're more scared of getting in trouble than they are of somebody taking their life. That's the power of the wicked system that we live under. That a person is more fearful of being in trouble with an oppressive system than they are dying. That is incredible. And on the flip side, the wicked people understand the virtue of their life being preserved and will extinguish the life of one of these righteous people who don't seem to get it all the way. It's really an interesting paradox. It's very interesting because it makes you wonder how much different righteousness is from wickedness, how much different goodness is from evil. They're so different that it's easy to call someone gullible or over trusting. But it's not a thin line between good and evil like there is love and hate. I think there's a perception that is easily skewed between who you believe is a good person and who you believe is an evil person based on what you have been socialized to accept. When most men see another man doing anything to a woman based on what they've been taught growing up in their household and what they've seen throughout most of society, it's generally unacceptable to do this. So when men see this, some men take it upon themselves to become a savior and a protector. While on the flip side, some men have seen the evils that other people have done to people that will compel or otherwise motivate another individual to this sort of action and this type of aggression. I'm not justifying the action of violence. I'm saying that sometimes violence is being enacted upon someone who has acted wickedly. And our society has taught us to overlook the actions of the wicked. See, this is something that you have to really be prepared for. I give you a prime example, and it's totally different, but it's the same principle. I was at court this last week, and I was talking to the young lady, and I say, "Hey, look, this guy didn't tell the truth. He lied." I said, "He lied. He didn't tell the truth. He lied." She says, "I get it. He lied." And I said, "If you guys get it so well, or if you get it so well, why didn't you do anything that I asked you to do?" You see what I'm saying? And right, it was so easy for her to want to copy and mock me. But when it came down to the, well, so why didn't you take any action? If you get it now, why didn't you get it before? What what about me only saying that he told a lie convinced you that he lied? Without giving you any piece of bona fide information other than what's already written that you've seen. Right. But because a person believes that they can play on the words, on the intent and the meaning of the words, that they can give you what you're looking for without giving you anything. It's called lip service. That's really what real lip service is. Is to make you feel good, but I don't give you shit. Um, I've never admired anything like that ever. But the fact that it takes place, the fact that it's ever prevalent within our society, we should, as a people, at least be more circumspect to how these things are going to affect us. Once again, they are not right. They are strange. The wicked are estranged, alienated. They're not right. They're different from the womb, y'all. And I know it seems like it's just a petty thing to stress. It's like, no, this is just like me stressing uh, 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 blood mixing. This is just like me stressing the stuff about the genetics. It's all the same. This is going to, I this has been a powerful lead on to the children's garden. I almost forgot all about it. I really did. I recorded it days ago. I wanted to I wanted to wanted to get it out here, but I was like, it's 30 minutes, and I got this other 30-minute joint that I got recorded already, but I don't want to put any pictures with that, and got a lot of stuff, you know. So, and I really think that this was a really good way to just kind of edge all of it out because I talked to Andre earlier today, and he was saying, last week was pretty good. It's going to be hard to top that. And I was like, I don't want to try to top it. I just want to be able to add this to the normal flow of everything that I do, so that way I can keep it steady. And I really do believe, based on just a little bit of stuff that we did first, and based on how it's gone right now, I really do think that it's been a very good stepping stone type platform, and it's going to be very useful going forward. Um, I can't stress to y'all, they're not good people, and it doesn't matter what race they are at that point once they're wicked. But I would stress that uh, the wicked are, well, no offense, the Most High said He put us among the worst of the heathen, the worst of them. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are wicked from the womb. I'm so sure of it that there's nothing to even elaborate with that. This has been this has been pretty fun. I got a couple more minutes left in me. I didn't want this to be too long. And yesterday I don't know, I wasn't tired. I felt good yesterday. Like I said, um, but I like to do I'm liking where this is going. I really am. Uh, been a lot of good energy and focus. Biblically, I still have to get to you guys with this Maccabee stuff. Recorded a little piece, deleted it, didn't like it. Have to explain a lot of things. They're big chapters, not little ones. Uh, I'm just giving you guys the heads up about what's going on. Excuse me again. Thank you. I have court on the 14th. So, and that's to get rid of the ERPO, the Extremist Protection Order, motion to terminate. We'll see how they treat me. I would pray that you guys pray for me as you have. I'm praying that those letters of recommendation are, the over the top stuff that's needed. What up, bro? What up? Um, I'm praying that it's just a good, smooth sailing type thing. I don't expect them to do anything for me. I expect them to keep trying to fuck me around. I expect to have this ERPO on me until July next year. That's what I expect. Uh, you know, I expect the worst. I'm hoping that everything goes smooth. Uh, hoping that the sensibilities and what I put on paper, as far as the reasons to dismissing the ERPO, are acknowledged in their fullness. I'm just praying to the fact that the Most High could just, you know, make it all go away in its own way. With that happening, good chances of me being able to get this other case knocked out that's in Seattle, and hopefully getting this other stuff taken care of on the 19th of this month. I have court on the 19th also. Uh yeah, I'm just tired, y'all. I just hope that everything goes my way. I know that sounds so selfish, but I really would like for it to go my way. It hasn't been going my way these last almost 5 months. So it would be nice if things turned around and I had, a little bit to be happy about. This is put, no damper on any plans. I'm still very much committed to going to damn Geneva. I haven't changed my mind. Haven't done any of that. Uh, and this is just me just letting you guys know what's on my mind now, before I close it on out. So quick recap. Wicked people have been like this since they were born. They are not going to change. Thank you, sister. Thank you. I appreciate that. They're not going to change. And they don't want to change. They're going to be who they are forever. To the day they die. I remember I talked to this guy one day. I said, one day you have to bow and confess. He said, I'll bow and confess when I'm dead. And he was dead ass serious. He was hella serious. And when you have somebody who's that willing to go to the grave before they say the Most High is the Most High, that just tells you exactly what type of world and environment that we're living in. You understand? Because a world where it wasn't like that, a world where people weren't wicked. Well, first off, in a perfect world, people would only know who the Most High is by proxy and not by worship. I don't think worship would have come around for a long time. I don't know if they ever would have worshipped the Most High. And that being the true Adamite seed and the people before him. I don't know if deity worship was ever supposed to be established. I can't co-sign that. I won't, because that's not what's written down. But what I do see, what I do believe, is that even what Cain didn't make him a wicked man. Right. It's as down low as what he did was, which is murder his brother. Even what Cain did wasn't considered wicked. Why would the Most High let him live and not just kill him off? Right. It doesn't even make sense. So then out because to let this dude do wickedness and to let him live would to imply that there's wickedness in the Most High. That doesn't even make sense. It's totally illogical. But however, just like that's illogical, it's illogical to believe that your God sat around and watched fallen angels commit crimes against humanity while he stood there and did nothing. He just was on his throne and was like, yeah, go ahead and dirty up those human beings. And I never loved them anyway. Because that, because I guess that makes sense to everybody. I guess that actually holds weight with us right now. However, y'all, it's 6:11. It's nice and early still. So there's some of y'all watching. I'm not gonna dust you just yet. We're gonna rock with this one just for a little bit longer. I'm gonna caveat half a second longer, and then I'm gonna really be out because I got meets to do. Got a lot of meets to do. So I would pray that you really do acknowledge who the wicked people are around you. Not just acknowledging the wicked, acknowledge who they are around you, in your family, out of your family, the people you work with, the people that you see daily, the people that you see infrequently. Identify them. Don't tell yourself that they were good. You understand? Don't tell yourself that they used to be a good person. No. They've hid their hand forever. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? They've hid their hand forever. And they just revealed it. And they're never going to change. They're going to hide their hand again and then do the same wickedness, the same evil nonsense. On this note, we leave. All those shootings that you guys have been seeing are not isolated incidents. Salute you.